Machiavelli said, "Men are ruined not by their enemies, but by the people they choose to keep close." Most men spend their entire lives trying to become stronger, but they never realize that strength is useless if the people around them are quietly poisoning their mind, their focus, their ambition. You can build discipline, you can build confidence, you can build power, but if you surround yourself with the wrong people, your power dissolves before it even forms. The truth is this: your environment is not neutral. Every person in your life is either sharpening you or dulling you, strengthening you or draining you, pushing you forward or holding you down. Machiavelli never romanticized human nature. He understood the one thing modern men still refuse to accept. Most danger in your life doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the familiar, from the people who smile at you, who compliment you, who pretend to care. But behind that smile, behind the politeness, behind the friendly tone, there are motives, insecurities, fears, and hidden intentions that slowly break your momentum. And if you don't identify these people early, you will pay for it later. Today, we reveal the 7 types of people Machiavelli warned you to avoid at all costs. Not because you should hate them, not because you're better than them, but because keeping them in your life is a direct threat to the man you're trying to become. This is not about morality. This is not about kindness. This is about strategy, about self-preservation, about guarding the life you're building, because Machiavelli understood something that modern society tries to hide. He who keeps the wrong company will eventually borrow their weakness. So listen carefully. The next 30 minutes may save you years of frustration, betrayal, and wasted potential. Machiavelli said, "Men injure either from fear or from envy." The first type of person you must avoid is the subtle saboteur, the one who smiles at you, supports you, encourages you, while quietly hoping you fail. These people never attack directly. They never confront you openly. Instead, they sabotage you in ways that feel small, harmless, almost invisible. A little doubt here, a small discouraging comment there, a harmless joke about your goals, a friendly reminder of your past mistakes. They never say, "You can't do it." They simply say, "Are you sure this is realistic? Maybe don't get your hopes up. What if it doesn't work? I'm just trying to protect you from disappointment." They disguise fear as concern. They disguise envy as logic. They disguise insecurity as advice. Their goal is not to stop you. It's to slow you just enough that you never outrun them. Machiavelli warned about this type repeatedly. Not the openly hostile, but the quietly resentful. The ones who fear seeing you rise because it forces them to face their own failure. And here is the cold truth. Most saboteurs don't know they're saboteurs. They simply need you to stay the person they are comfortable with. If you grow too fast, they lose their psychological balance. If you become disciplined, they feel lazy. If you become confident, they feel small. If you become powerful, they become irrelevant. So they pull you down gently, softly, strategically, not out of hatred, but out of fear that your evolution will expose their stagnation. Real danger doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it comes from the people who loved the weaker version of you. The subtle saboteur is dangerous because he operates in the shadows of familiarity. You trust him, you open up to him, you believe his advice, and before you know it, your ambition has been softened, your urgency weakened, your fire dimmed. The more you listen, the less you grow. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise man must choose his advisors carefully, for he becomes the prisoner of their opinions." If you keep a subtle saboteur close, your life will shrink to match their limitations. Remove them, and suddenly, you rise without resistance. Machiavelli said, "Whoever cannot govern himself must be governed by others." The second type of person you must avoid is the constant victim, the man or woman who lives in a permanent state of misfortune, but never recognizes their own role in it. Their life is an endless cycle of drama, bad luck, broken relationships, betrayal, failed plans, emotional chaos, and every time something goes wrong, they repeat the same script. I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but Machiavelli knew exactly why. Chaos attracts chaos. Weakness attracts predators. Lack of discipline attracts suffering. The constant victim does not want solutions. They want sympathy. They want your time, your energy, your emotional labor. They feed on attention like a parasite feeds on a host. Every conversation with them leaves you drained, heavier, less focused. And the danger is not obvious at first. They seem harmless, they seem kind, they seem unlucky. You feel sorry for them. But then their gravity begins to pull you in. And suddenly, their crises become your crises. Their stress becomes your stress. Their problems become your responsibility. Their emotional instability starts infecting your mind. Machiavelli warned, a prince must avoid the company of the miserable, lest he become miserable himself. Because the constant victim has one hidden weapon. They always make you feel guilty for having a better life. When you succeed, they say, must be nice. Not everyone is that lucky. Some of us don't have it as easy. When you focus on your goals, they say, you've changed. You don't care anymore. I guess your priorities are different now. When you set boundaries, they say, I thought you were my friend. I guess I can't count on you after all. They punish strength and reward weakness. They reward your time when you're available to fix them, and punish you when you choose your own life over their drama. It's emotional manipulation masquerading as helplessness. And here's the psychological trap. You can never help a person who benefits from staying broken. The constant victim's identity is built on suffering. If they solved their problems, they would lose the only thing that gives them significance, your attention. Machiavelli said, men are quick to adopt misery if it gains them influence. A victim is not just a burden. They are a threat to your momentum, your ambition, your peace. You cannot grow while dragging someone who refuses to stand. And you cannot build a powerful life with someone who thrives in dysfunction. Cut them off gently, quietly, without guilt, because a man who carries another's chaos cannot carry his own destiny. Machiavelli said, men love competition until the moment they begin to lose. The third type of person you must avoid is the competitive friend, the one who pretends to support you while secretly measuring his worth against yours. He doesn't want you to fail, but he does not want you to win bigger than him. And this creates a silent, poisonous tension. This person is dangerous not because he hates you, but because he needs to outperform you in order to feel secure. Your achievements shrink him. Your progress threatens him. Your confidence unsettles him. Your growth reminds him of everything he's not. He compares everything, your relationships, your money, your body, your confidence, your attention from others, your success, your respect, your lifestyle. He treats your life like a scoreboard. And when you start to rise, his behavior changes subtly. He begins to joke about your goals. He downplays your achievements. He changes the topic when you share good news. He forgets to congratulate you. He gives you advice that pulls you backward. He becomes strangely distant when you level up. But the most dangerous sign is this: he celebrates your small wins, but goes silent when you win big. Because your success doesn't inspire him, it humiliates him. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. A friend who cannot rejoice in your fortune will one day rejoice in your ruin. The competitive friend is not your rival, because rivals are honest. He is your shadow opponent, always watching, always comparing, always hoping you rise, but not too high. And if you rise too fast, he will undermine you discreetly, planting doubts, minimizing your progress, suggesting safer options, pushing you toward comfort, highlighting your flaws, amplifying your mistakes. Not because he wants to hurt you, but because your success destroys the fragile identity he built around being equal to you. Here is Machiavelli's coldest truth. A man envies most those closest to him, for their success is the mirror of his failure. The competitive friend becomes dangerous the moment your life becomes a reflection he can no longer tolerate. You must distance yourself, not with hatred, not with conflict, but with silence, because a friend who competes with you will eventually compete against you. And a man who measures your worth will one day try to control it. Machiavelli said, "A prince must guard his spirit, for many will drink from it if allowed." The fourth type of person you must avoid is the emotional leech, the one who drains your energy, your clarity, your strength, not by attacking you, but by feeding on you. They don't want your advice, they want your attention. They don't want your solutions, they want your emotional labor. They don't want to grow, they want to attach themselves to someone who is growing. They appear during your strongest moments and disappear during your weakest. They come to you when they are sad, they are anxious, they are lost. They need validation, they crave stability. They want someone to listen, they want to feel important. And every conversation leaves you exhausted, while they walk away relieved. This is their pattern. You carry the weight. They feel lighter. You lose strength. They regain balance. You become drained. They feel healed. But nothing changes because the next day, week, or month, they come back again for more. And here is the darkest truth. Emotional leeches don't want you to get better. They want you to stay available. Because if you become too focused, too driven, too disciplined, they lose access to your energy. Machiavelli warned about these people. Those who cannot command themselves will seek to command the spirit of others. Emotional leeches are not weak. They are strategic. They feed on strength. They attach themselves to the reliable, the stable, the ambitious. Why? Because your energy gives them temporary identity. Your presence gives them temporary purpose. Your attention gives them temporary confidence. But once they feel full, they leave until their emptiness returns, and the cycle restarts. They drain you silently, without cruelty, without intention. But the damage is the same. You stop focusing, you stop creating, you stop improving, you stop dreaming, because they used your emotional system like a battery. Machiavelli's final warning: a man who gives his strength to many keeps none for himself. If you let emotional leeches stay in your life, you will live in a permanent state of depletion. Your ambition will flicker, your confidence will erode, your clarity will fade. They don't destroy your life violently, they destroy it slowly. And the remedy is simple: starve them. Withdraw attention, withdraw energy, withdraw access, because a leech cannot feed on a man who refuses to bleed. Machiavelli said, "He who is not constant in himself cannot be constant to you." The fifth type of person you must avoid is the unstable ally, the one who claims loyalty, swears they're always on your side, and speaks of trust, brotherhood, and unity, but collapses the moment things get difficult. They are loyal in words, but weak in reality. They support you when life is easy, plans are simple, results are immediate, emotions are positive, no sacrifice is required. But the second you face pressure, they malfunction. When life tests you, they become distant. When you need strength, they offer excuses. When you need clarity, they bring confusion. When you need loyalty, they disappear. Not because they hate you, but because they cannot hold the weight of their own identity, let alone yours. Machiavelli recognized this type clearly. There is nothing more dangerous than a friend who breaks at the first sign of adversity. The unstable ally is unpredictable. Today they defend you. Tomorrow they speak against you. Today they admire you. Tomorrow they resent you. Today they promise loyalty. Tomorrow they forget they ever made that promise. Their inconsistency becomes a weapon that cuts you when you least expect it. And here's the Machiavellian truth. A weak man doesn't betray you out of malice. He betrays you because he collapses under pressure. He cannot hold secrets. He cannot hold responsibility. He cannot hold loyalty. He cannot hold silence. He cannot hold himself. And a man who cannot hold himself will drop you without hesitation the moment things get heavy. This makes him far more dangerous than an enemy. An enemy is predictable. The unstable ally is not. Today he's beside you. Tomorrow he's apologizing. Next week he's explaining why he had no choice. Next month he's telling others that you changed. These are the people who leak your plans, accidentally shift alliances quietly, gossip under stress, reveal things when emotional breakdown during conflict, panic in critical moments. They're not evil, they're not malicious, but their lack of internal stability creates external destruction. Machiavelli warned, "It is better to face a declared enemy than rely on a friend who trembles." Because an unstable ally does not choose to betray you, he simply lacks the spine to remain loyal when loyalty actually costs something. And the deeper truth: you can never build a strong life with someone who collapses under his own weight. Distance is mercy. Separation is protection. Silence is strategy, because a man who cannot control himself will always fail you when you need him most. Machiavelli said, "Men forgive attacks on their fortune far more easily than attacks on their pride." The sixth type of person you must avoid is the quiet resenter, the one who never shows anger, never argues, never confronts you, but stores silent resentment like a weapon. He appears calm, he appears friendly, he appears composed, but inside him, something dark is fermenting. This is the person who smiles when you succeed, but the smile isn't real, listens when you speak, but never celebrates you, agrees with your decisions, but secretly hopes they fail. He never says anything directly. That's what makes him so dangerous. Resentment in silence is resentment without witnesses, and therefore resentment without consequences. Machiavelli understood this dynamic perfectly. Hatred concealed is the most fatal, for it strikes without warning. The quiet resenter is the man whose ego was bruised in ways you didn't even notice. Maybe you achieved something he couldn't. Maybe someone praised you in front of him. Maybe your confidence made him feel small. Maybe your discipline exposed his lack of it. Maybe your growth forced him to confront his stagnation. You didn't insult him. You didn't attack him. You didn't betray him. But in his mind, you humiliated him simply by becoming someone he is not. Here is the psychological truth. Weak men take offense not at your actions, but at your existence. The quiet resenter will never argue with you, because argument requires courage. Instead, he waits. He waits for the moment you're vulnerable. He waits for the moment you make a mistake. He waits for the moment you trust him too much. He waits for the moment you need loyalty the most. And that is when he turns. Not loudly, not violently, but subtly. A rumor whispered at the right time, a secret shared with the wrong person, a misunderstanding that wasn't a misunderstanding. A piece of information he accidentally revealed, a decision he supports in public but sabotages in private. Machiavelli wrote, "An enemy declared is a problem. An enemy disguised is a catastrophe." The quiet resenter doesn't act out of strategy. He acts out of wounded pride. And nothing is more unpredictable than a man whose ego has been quietly bleeding over time. He will betray you softly. He will undermine you silently. He will celebrate your failures privately. He will resent your success eternally. This type cannot be corrected, cannot be fixed, cannot be reasoned with, because the problem is not what you did. It's who you are. And that is the one thing you can never change for anyone. So Machiavelli's advice is simple. Remove those who resent you, for a resentful heart is a weapon waiting for its moment. Distance protects you. Access empowers him. Silence disarms him. A man who resents you quietly is a storm pretending to be sky. Machiavelli said, "A man without principles is governed only by opportunity." The seventh type of person you must avoid is the man with no principles, a person without a code, without a spine, without any moral or strategic center. He is not guided by loyalty, nor by logic, nor by honor, nor by consistency. He is guided only by one thing, whatever benefits him in the moment. This is the most terrifying kind of person, because he is capable of anything, not out of malice, but out of emptiness. You can predict the jealous. You can understand the insecure. You can anticipate the competitive. You can even manage the resentful. But a man with no principles cannot be predicted, cannot be trusted, cannot be understood. His decisions do not come from values, but from impulses. His loyalty is for sale. His morals shift with convenience. His words carry no weight. His promises expire instantly. His identity changes depending on who he needs to impress. Machiavelli warned rulers about this type more than any other. He who lacks principles will betray for advantage just as he would serve for advantage. Such a man is neither friend nor enemy. He is a wild card, an unstable element, a ticking variable. He behaves like this. Today he admires you. Tomorrow he mocks you. Today he stands with you. Tomorrow he stands with whoever offers him more. Today he swears loyalty. Tomorrow he swears he never said that. And the darkest part, he does not see himself as disloyal. He sees himself as adaptable. In his mind, betrayal is a strategy. Deception is a tool. Opportunism is intelligence. Shifting alliances is survival. He believes loyalty is weakness and consistency is naive. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must fear the man who is loyal to nothing but the moment." This type is capable of exposing your secrets, casually switching sides, instantly selling you out without hesitation, aligning with your enemy for convenience, applauding you in public while undermining you in private, not because he hates you, but because he feels nothing deeply. And therefore, nothing restrains him. A man with no principles has no brakes, no guilt, no commitment, no shame, no direction, no inner structure. He drifts between moralities like a leaf in the wind. Whoever blows harder gets him. You cannot build a kingdom with him. You cannot build a family with him. You cannot build a business with him. You cannot build trust with him. You cannot build the future with him. Machiavelli's final verdict: he who cannot anchor himself will eventually drown all who hold on to him. Distance is not just protection here. It is survival. Remove him quietly, remove him completely, remove him early, before he turns your entire life into collateral damage. Machiavelli said, "To see who a man will become, observe whom he keeps close." You now understand the 7 types of people who quietly destroy a man long before life ever does. Not through violence, not through open betrayal, but through slow erosion of focus, ambition, clarity, and confidence. Most men spend years strengthening themselves, but never examine the hands that are quietly weakening them. You cannot rise while carrying the saboteur, the victim, the competitive friend, the emotional leech, the unstable ally, the quiet resenter, and the man with no principles. These 7 figures are not rare. They are everywhere. Some are in your messages right now. Some are sitting across from you. Some sleep beside you. Some share your blood. And that is why the truth is so difficult to face. Your life is not shaped by your enemies. It is shaped by the people you tolerate. A powerful man is not defined by how much he can endure, but by how ruthlessly he removes anything that weakens him. Machiavelli wrote, He who does not purge his surroundings invites his own downfall. Understand this: you do not need better habits. You do not need more motivation. You do not need another chance. You need fewer people, because when the wrong people leave your life, the right opportunities enter. When the wrong voices fall silent, your own voice becomes stronger. When the wrong energy disappears, your path becomes clearer. And when the wrong loyalties die, your real power begins. The world will test you. Life will pressure you. Time will expose you. But the people you allow near you will either sharpen you or slowly destroy you. So choose ruthlessly, as Machiavelli would. Cut fast, cut early, cut without apology, because a man who guards his circle guards his destiny.